$5 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Good afternoon. So much for no free advertising on Spoony Radio. Yep, Gatorade, the lifesaver. Chef Patrick Mosher, the Food Biz Pro. Happy Tuesday afternoon. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm recovering from covering for you. No, what happened last week? You okay? You feeling better?
What's that?
You missed a day last week. You feeling better?
Oh, no. Dad was in the hospital, actually.
Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, yeah. He was pretty rough. Things were second time in a year that he was in there. But he's out. He's good.
Okay, well, I don't need to go into too many details. I didn't know. I'm just glad everything's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was telling Ron earlier, you know, I was walking to the kitchen from my desk. Well, actually, I was sitting at the table here in the Spoony Radio studios. I was walking back to the kitchen, and I heard Mike's voice on the radio, and I had to go back in the studio and say, you know, I'm at the age now where it's not just good hair envy, it's good voice envy. I'm like, man, he's smooth. It's like a young white Barry White, man. It's like, oh, hey, man, how you doing? You know, Matt, he's going to lose his show to you if you keep talking over him like that.
Oh, I know. I'm just trying to take it over. That's all I'm doing.
I'm just teasing. I mean, you can say I hang out and talk. I don't know if you got stuff to do on the other side.
I'll
but
be bouncing back and forth.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Thanks. I'm glad you're back, Mike. Cheers. All right, so it is Tuesday. Yes, I missed yesterday. I don't want to hear anything. Sometimes the guys got to work, right? Got to pay the bills. But, you know, I'm going to treat it like a Monday. So we're going to start off with just silly food stories. And, you know, I'd like to start throwing in the obscure food term of the day. I think we need to start doing that at the top of the second hour. Also, Mark Conway, he's the host of Family Meal, which is on right before my show every day, Monday through Friday, is going to be changing things up a little bit. He's going to have 2 shows a week, 2 different shows, though. He's going to tell us a little bit more about that. I think one is going to launch, is it Mondays or Tuesdays? The other is going to launch later in the week, Thursday or Friday. And 2 very separate formats. One is still, of course, Family Meal, and the other is going to be, well, we'll talk about it after. Anyway, he'll let the cat out of the bag for us. Anyway, today is National Anisette Day. And anisette, if you like licorice, love licorice, hate licorice, it's that flavored liqueur from France that tastes like licorice. Anyway, love it, hate it. I don't really care for it. But, yeah, look it up. It's National Anisette Day. It's your choice. Now, I like Pernod, but it apparently doesn't like me. I remember one time in Germany drinking Pernod, and you mix it with water. Pernod, I have to take that back. It was ouzo, the Greek version of the dreaded licorice drink, shall we say. And I think there was a rumor that if you woke up and you had a hangover, that if you brushed your teeth and then ran around the block, that you would just get drunk again. It just made me sick. So no more of that for me. I don't even like absinthe, anything that smells like licorice that's a liqueur. I like licorice. I like fennel. I like pretty much anything that tastes like or smells like licorice that is not in alcohol. So, Spoony listeners, please don't send me anything. Oh, this is bad. Don't send me anything that's got liqueur in it or liquor in it that smells like licorice, anise, anything like that. Please, fennel, fenugreek, any of those, out. Sorry. By the way, I don't know if you remember, Doc did this cool play, this cool list of names. I think fenugreek made the list of the top 50 names for women. If you've missed that, you should go back and listen to it. Actually, it was a pretty funny bit that Doc did while he was picking on Brad on his show one day. And the coolest thing about it is that Doc, being the prankster that he was, he actually recorded a little soundbite saying that he was, they played this on the air while he and Brad were sitting in the studio. He told the listeners not to say anything on social media, but he was pranking Brad, and he went through this list of names to see how far he could go before Brad finally caught on and called BS. And I think he went for like 20 minutes. I think the whole segment, Brad never questioned him. I don't know if that was out of courtesy or if Doc was that good, but it was pretty funny. I'll have to. I'll put the link up on Spoony Radio on the Facebook page. Hey, Brandon. All right, folks. Today, Brandon Anderson was supposed to come in. We're going to do some food. It was going to be a lot of fun. He had some issues with a family member, and so he had to take the day off, and that's okay. But he says, hey, sorry I couldn't make it, but next Tuesday, it's going down. All right. All right. I'm going to hold you to your word, Brandon. It'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. Actually, I'm kind of glad that he didn't show today, or that he didn't show without me asking prior to him canceling, because I did not buy the ingredients to make that wonderful cucumber and watermelon salad I was going to make. But I think next week we're going to do something different. I'd spoken before about this appetizer that kind of mixes summer watermelon, this great apple cider vinaigrette, and seared ahi tuna. So I think we'll do that next week as an appetizer to the smoked meats he's going to do, and it should be a lot of fun. All right. So, yeah, not a big fan of the anisette, anise, whatever you want to call it. One of the funniest stories I saw this week was this video went viral. This young lady opens a gallon of Bluebell ice cream, and I'm going to have to post this because it's pretty funny. She opens the gallon of Bluebell ice cream and then licks the top of the ice cream, puts the lid back on, and puts it back in the freezer and runs away. The interesting thing about this is no one is really trying to crucifying or wanting to punish the young lady that did this. They're yelling at Bluebell saying that your ice cream is too easy to open. So they want Bluebell to incur extra cost to put that shrink wrap plastic around the top so that you can't just lift the lid off. Instead of being upset at the young lady. It's got, right now it has 63.6 thousand views. That was at 8:02 a.m. this morning. And 35,000 people were talking about this morning. Bluebell said, we want to thank our consumers for alerting us to the incident this past weekend of a video posted to social media showing a Bluebell item being tampered with. We take this issue very seriously and are currently working with law enforcement, retail partners, and social media platforms. This type of incident will not be tolerated. But basically, their lid freezes to the container because it touches the ice cream. The ice cream freezes the lid to the ice cream, and it doesn't fall off. So from a food safety standpoint, it shouldn't be an issue. It's when idiots open the container and lick the top of the ice cream. At least it was a good one. She picked Tin Roof, which is really good. I don't know if you had that, but it's pretty tasty. Yeah. Here's a question. I'm going to put this up on Spoony Radio. I have two questions today. Joe Wilson posed a great question yesterday. I don't know if you remember who Joe is. Joe is the host, the sponsor. I think he's just the creator of the World Squirrel Champion Cook-Off every year in Bentonville, Arkansas. He's also the MC for the World Steak Cook-Off, which happens down here at Billy Bob's, right here in Fort Worth, at the Stockyards every year. He does a lot of those events around the country, and he posed a question yesterday. What is your favorite brand of ice cream? And he stated publicly that he figured all Texans would stand together and say Bluebell just as a point of pride. But as a Texas resident, longtime resident, I actually bucked it. I bucked this system. I challenged the consensus. Actually, my favorite is Tillamook out of Oregon. They make the most fantastic ice creams. They have a peanut butter and jelly cream, and they have, but I'm telling you, the Marionberry pie is by far the best ice cream. All right, that you can buy in a gallon, or that you can buy in mass quantities, or that's mass produced and sold in retail. So, there's homemade's the best, of course, right? Isn't it? Everybody remembers that. Grandma used to make it. Used to try and dump all the melted stuff out of the bottom of the container at the end of the day, right? After everybody got their share. Oh, bad hair day for Chef Patrick here on Spoony Radio. That doesn't look good. All right. Travis, you let the cat out of the bag. Mark will tell us what kind of cat it is. There you go. Yes. Mark will tell us what kind of cat it is. Again, should be very good, and I'm looking forward to that. For some reason, the show's video is not playing. There we go. Now I can see the comments. All right. So the question today is favorite brand of ice cream on the shelf at your favorite grocery store. All right. Yep. Just write it down, send it in. You can send it. Just put it on Facebook. Go to the Spoony Radio Facebook page and say what your favorite brand is. I'm going to post the question right now. What is your store-bought ice cream? We love, I'm going to put that in there, actually, Tillamook. All right, and that's Tillamook Creamer, by the way. All right, answer the question, folks. Answer the question. You know what? We will pick one lucky winner, and if I can figure out a way to ship it, I'll ship you a gallon of your favorite ice cream. How's that? I'll pick one lucky winner. So tell us what your favorite ice cream is. Answer the question, and follow up. I'll send it next week after the holiday. Because you know what? There's only one more day to this work week for most people, and that's tomorrow. Because Thursday, being the 4th of July, I think the rest of us are taking the rest of the week off. I think all of us are. You should too. And seeing that it's the 4th of July, I came across another story. My favorite 4th of July fare is hot dog. I love Nathan's. I like the Hebrew Nationals. There are some other ones I like, but those are my two favorites if you're going to buy them in the store. And I came across a story. There's apparently a $250 hot dog. A $250 hot dog. I mean, I've paid like $8 in New York at Gray's Papaya for a hot dog. And that was a pretty damn fancy hot dog. But a $250 hot dog, you have to be freaking kidding me. So I started to dig in, and it's not your average hot dog. So the hot dog is really not a hot dog. I mean, this is like, it's like a hot dog from the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Remember that show? Yeah. Well, here it is. This is not just this is the pretentious hot dog, right? It's got black truffle ketchup, an ounce of caviar, freshly flown in from their own U.S. aqua farm. Let's see. They have what else? I mean, an ounce of caviar alone is probably $150, $200, right? So that's going to push it up. But it's not a hot dog at that point anymore, right? A hot dog should be simple. It's patriotic food. That's 4th of July fare. That's like you go to a ballpark, you buy one for $5. It used to be $5. Now it's probably $7. But $250. I don't care where you eat it. Granted, this is the Hamptons, and it's called the Huso Dog, Huso. I'm just not sure. It's just not right. It's not right. It's from Marky's Caviar. And they just opened up on Madison Avenue. They opened a gourmet retail and caviar bar. Yeah, it figures. Just don't serve hot dogs anymore. That's not cool. I'll forward that one. I'll post that on the site as well. But speaking of hot dogs, because it's that time of year, and Doc and I always had this conversation right before the 4th of July, I've always wondered, I thought ketchup was the most popular condiment for hot dogs. I've thought that forever and ever. I actually like a mix. Ketchup, mustard, and pickle relish. Sour relish, though, not sweet. And I was always thinking that ketchup would be the most popular, but I'm wrong. Actually, by far. Interestingly enough, the number one condiment is mustard. Mustard came in at number one. 72% say mustard is their favorite condiment. Now, number two is ketchup. That was 59% of people say they also put that on. Pickle relish came in at 47% at number three. Sauerkraut came in fourth at 26%. Spicy mustard right behind that at 23%. Let's see. Mayonnaise came in at 15%. So mayonnaise haters, it made the list. And then jalapeno peppers were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Came in at number 8 at 11%. Now, if you look at hot dogs, though, it's almost exactly the reverse. 71% said ketchup and 50% said mustard. Interesting. There's a huge, if you look on the internet, there's this huge debate, and it's almost like a war between the proponents of ketchup and mustard. But if you look up ketchup or mustard on a hot dog, I swear, I pulled up, I think, how many articles came up? Let's see. Showing 5,120,000 results came up in 0.57 seconds. It's the biggest debate in food, in the history of food, actually. And here, one of them from Chowhan. Here's the title: Why does ketchup on a hot dog piss people off? Why is that? Are you a ketchup hater on your hot dogs? Justin Day says Publix store brand and Bluebell. There you go. Let's see. Julie Loeb says Bluebell and Ben & Jerry's. Ben & Jerry's pretty good. Publix store brand. You know, it's been a long time since I lived in Florida and I was able to get Publix store brand. We don't have them here in Texas, but I do recall that was pretty good. There was one not very far down the road from me. All right, keep sending your input. What is your favorite store brand of ice cream? Again, the lucky winner will get a gallon of ice cream if I can figure out how to ship. Well, actually, I know how to ship it without it melting. Dry ice inside of a styrofoam container. That's it, inside of a box. They make boxes specifically for shipping frozen food, so that should not be a problem. And for some reason, I can't get the live feed up. So I'm looking for your comments, but I can't get the live feed to pull up. There we go. I only have the two so far. So, all right, it's neck and neck. We have Publix and, well, actually you have three. Publix, Haagen-Dazs, Bluebell. 1-1-1. All right. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. All right. So, anyway, $250 hot dog, ketchup or mustard. That's up to you. I'll post that question later. I think we'll post it for the 4th. You ever there's another story I want to share with you actually real quick. I was going to go into something else, but I need to share this. So you talk about stupid food news. I don't know what it is about McDonald's and Florida, right? I don't get it. There's always a crazy food story about someone in Florida, and this may be it's not the craziest. The one that was the craziest was the naked guy trying to make a grilled cheese, trying to bake Toll House cookies in his George Foreman grill. The house caught on fire, and the police showed up, and he wouldn't open the door. But this one's a close second. A Florida man was arrested for pelting his girlfriend with McDonald's sweet and sour packets. So apparently, he pelted his girlfriend in the head and face area with sweet and sour sauce packets Sunday because he was angry she had bought the wrong food from McDonald's. And Jesus Oscar Ferrer Jr., 30, attacked his girlfriend in the couple's motel room in Tampa. It's always Tampa, too. Why is it always Tampa? A struggle ensued, and Ferrer allegedly pinned his girlfriend to the ground. He placed his palm on her face and pressed her head into the ground using his body weight, which prompted her to pull off a part of his beard. By the time officers arrived, Ferrer had fled the motel, and he was arrested and booked into the Pasco County Jail on a charge of felony battery. What a bittersweet ending. Ferrer was charged with battery earlier. Anyway, it's not the first time, but really? Sweet and sour packets is what you chose to pelt her with? I mean, yeah, that's just sad. Look, man, don't abuse the food. Don't abuse the food, right? Or women. But it's crazy. You can't. What is it with people when you get the wrong order at a drive-through, a fast food restaurant, something like that? Can't you just go back in nicely and say, hey, I got the wrong order? This is the only business. The food and beverage, I'm going to get on a rant right now. The food and beverage industry is the only, as a chef, and I've worked in many other businesses as well, it's the only industry where I've ever seen anyone expect that if it doesn't come out when you expect it to come out, it comes out a little different looking or tasting than you expected, even though you'd never had it before. And you didn't ask any questions about what it tastes like, what's in it. But if it's not exactly to your liking, you expect to get everything for free. This really has nothing to do with the guy in Florida. I think that there's a duty on us as diners to learn how to be better guests, diners, and customers, and not expect everything to always come from the service side of our experience. We've all done it. Come on, you walk in and you're in a bad mood, right? Something happened at work, or one of your children is just acting up. Something like that happens, and what do? You take it out on the server, or the person working the register at the place you choose to order lunch or get dinner. And so we take it out on them. The thing is, that's not really responsible dining. Yeah, granted, you're paying for a service, you're paying for a product, but at the same time, you're a part of the entire experience for them as well. You know how many times I've seen a server quit over one bad guest experience? They just couldn't get over it. Couldn't get over it. You know, I talked about the story last week where a Trump family member was dining in Chicago and the server spat on him. I mean, I've seen it the other way around where, well, hello, something fell. I've seen it the other way around where the guest has either physically abused or verbally abused the server, man and female. Doesn't matter if it's male or female. And I can't fathom what is so wrong in your day that you need to walk into a restaurant and take it out on the staff. So just remember that. It's a holiday weekend coming up, folks. We're all going to spend time either in a convenience store, a grocery store, at a restaurant, somewhere where you're going to have to buy something from someone. You know what? It's not always their job to smile and say hello. Maybe you should too. I was actually on the phone the other day. Well, last week, y'all know what happened with my luggage, American Airlines, which I'm grateful my luggage was returned, by the way, and nothing missing. But, you know, for like 9 days, I was trying to hunt down my luggage. And it was noted to me several times that, you know, how can I be so patient when I'm on the phone with customer service? I was like, well, you know, when's the last time you ranted and raved? You as an individual, and me as well. When's the last time yelling and screaming ever helped you get better customer service, or find your lost luggage more quickly, or replace the meal that you didn't like the way it was cooked the first time, or it just wasn't what you expected? When did yelling and screaming ever make that any better? It doesn't. You know, I spoke before. I've spoken to a few customer service and guest experience experts. And I really think there should be a class on being a better customer. Think about it. How many times are you waiting in line, right? Waiting in line to check out because the person in front of you is ranting and raving about their experience to someone behind the counter who probably makes minimum wage and really doesn't have any idea what happened. They have no clue. They're just ringing you up. They have no clue what happened yesterday or the day before or 19 weeks ago when you came in and there was someone else behind the counter. You know, I really, you know, I'm starting to think that there's I've been talking for a long time about the issues that there are with customer service. And Mike's back there is like, dude, you okay? You know what? Can I tell you what? People don't realize, you know, how sitting in here for 2 hours talking about food and silly food stories and that kind of stuff. It's not the hardest job in the world, especially. Well, it is really difficult when you're sitting by yourself. You have no idea how nice it is to see a face back there smiling, saying, "Hey, you okay? Want me? You know, need to chime in?" No, but Mike, I just bring you up to speed. I don't know if you're listening. I've talked many times about the difficulties and the deficiency in customer service in this country, right? But I really think it's the guest. Oh, I hear something. Oh, okay. Your mic's open. I'm like, but you know. The diner, the guest, the customer, we need to be taught how to be a little more patient and be a little more tolerant in this country. Really. I mean, and I apologize to all my friends, family, loved ones that I correct, but how often do we walk into a restaurant and say, can I get you anything? Yeah, another Coke. We don't say please. Yeah, you're good, Mike. Go ahead. He's got to run to the other show. It's funny. I like watching these guys run back and forth. They're like, okay, he doesn't need anything. We go to the other show because our studios actually face each other. And yeah, he's smiling through the glass. Anyway, hey, we got about 10 seconds left. We're gonna go to a break. I'm gonna talk just talk to myself and you here for the next 30 minutes. Right after that, though, Chef Mark Conway of Family Meal is going to be on. We're going to talk about his new show, the format, some great topics. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter at Food Biz Pro.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
And welcome back for second course of Spoony Radio's Food Biz Pro Show. Chef Patrick Mosher right here. If you have not looked on the Facebook page, go to Spoony Radio's Facebook page. I asked, what is your favorite store brand or readily available in-store brand of ice cream? And we have a couple in here. Publix. All right, so Justin Day says Publix. Marie Del Teo Italian Gelato. That sounds pretty good, Marie. Let's see. Travis Watkins says High Road Craft Ice Cream is by far the best ice cream. My favorites are okay, I'm wearing contacts that have been in for like 4 days, so I'm trying to read here. My favorites are Aztec chocolate and bourbon burnt sugar. Oh, that sounds really good. But I've never had anything I didn't like. Let's see. Tress Collins, Tillamook is the best, with Bluebell a close second. Sarah Lell says Stewart's Shops ice cream. You know what? Actually, growing up in upstate New York, well, just New York in general, the Stewart's ice cream shops, man, that's some awesome stuff. I remember going as a kid after baseball games. I played baseball with a guy named Dino. What was Dino's last name? Their house was right next to the baseball fields, and they owned the Stewart's in town. That was always so much fun. Win or lose, the whole team went down, and his family bought ice cream for us every week. It was awesome. Yes, Tillamook is all right. I still think Tillamook is the best. Y'all have to convince me not. All right, so Travis Watkins, I was just talking about behaving ourselves as diners, as guests, as consumers, and just general individuals purchasing anything, anywhere in a retail environment, but specifically food service. I spoke about why is it we always go nuts when our fast food order is wrong? It's fast food. What do you expect, right? If you want to make sure it's right, then, walk inside and open the bag before you drive home, or maybe just don't call Uber Eats to deliver. Anyway, Travis Watkins says, this is why when eating fast food, you should always eat Taco Bell. Everything tastes the same, so even if it's wrong, it's okay. Well put. I think they have like 14 ingredients at 14, maybe 15 ingredients at Taco Bell. And it's just how those ingredients are arranged or presented. That, that's what the dish is. I think you're right on that one. They all do taste the same. Now, that's not completely true because some have sour cream and some don't. So not everything tastes the same. All right. Ta-da, thank you. And let's see. All right, I got to get back to the story. We're talking about hot dogs. We always had I don't know why, but we always had hot dog buns when I was a kid, all leftover. We always had at least a package, right? I don't know why. They're always in the cabinet. I always used them just as, something to put peanut butter on as a snack. We never had the hot dogs. The buns were always in the pantry. And so I came across this article I thought was pretty interesting. It says it's 10, I just posted a little while ago on Spoony's Facebook page, 10 brilliant ways to use up leftover hot dog buns. And they actually are pretty good. The one way to use them is homemade croutons. DIY croutons are one of the easiest things you can make to add your salads and soups over the all right. I'm going to go back and read it in English one more time. DIY croutons are one of the easiest things you can make to take your salads and soups over the top. Simply cut your leftover buns into cubes and toss with a bit of oil or melted butter or a combo of both, a little salt, and any other seasonings of your choice. Oh, a little chipotle powder on there. That'd be good. Really good. Maybe some Parmesan cheese. Ooh. Chili powder. Spicy croutons. Then spread the bread cubes on a sheet pan and bake at 375 for 10 minutes or so until golden brown. And be sure to stir halfway through cooking. Well, that makes common sense. All right, the next one. This is pretty good. French toast sticks. So give your buns the French toast treatment. That statement alone is a bit much. Hey, Tim, how you doing? I'm going to start that again. Give your buns the French toast treatment. I like saying that. I'm going to say that over and over. I'm going to start every show that way now. And serve with a side of warm maple syrup. We're talking about what to do with leftover hot dog buns. All you need to do is whip up a simple French toast custard recipe like this one. You can click on it. The link will take you there. And proceed dipping and griddling the halved. All right. I don't use an actual a French toast custard. I actually take the same recipe that I use to make creme brulee. I don't cook it, but I take that same mixture, and that's what I use to make my French toast. It's rich. It's sweet. It's not overly sweet, which is why I like creme brulee. Just find your favorite creme brulee recipe and mix all the ingredients in a bowl. Don't worry about the cooking process or tempering or straining or any of that stuff. Just dip your bread in there and it'll work. And that sounds pretty good with French toast sticks made from the hot dog buns. You're going to get the outside of the bun is going to get really nice and crispy. And then the other side, that sounds really good. All right, breakfast bake. Yeah, okay, that's fine. It's just a breakfast casserole, something like maple French toast casserole or King Ranch breakfast casserole. That's fine. Panzanella. Panzanella is basically like a salad with bread in it, right? So you can make that, blah, blah, blah. A BLT panzanella sounds really good, though. That does sound good. A little bacon. You get your lettuce. You got the croutons or the bread in there. All right, you can use it to thicken soup. A lot of people don't know this, but many Italian soups are actually thickened with bread, like gazpacho or ribollita. It's used quite often, and all they do is they take day-old crusty bread, break it up, and they throw it in the mix and puree it in. It's an instant thickener, and again, don't have to throw it away. Now, I'm not sure about this one. I don't know who came up with it, but it says easy tiramisu. It said hot dog buns are similar enough to ladyfingers in shape, so hey, why not? Because it's tiramisu. You don't mess with tiramisu, but we'll continue anyway. This easy take on tiramisu utilizes King's Hawaiian bread, but if you have a real excess of buns, create your cake layers using the halved buns. No, that's a fail. Tiramisu, it's not even the King's Hawaiian bread. No. I'm calling a fail on that one. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Now, the next one, this would work. Bread pudding. It says you could take your leftover buns, use them in bread pudding. You can use a mix of hot dog buns or any other stale white bread products you have kicking around to whip up this decadent custard dessert. And you can click on the link. It says, unless your buns are really stale, you may want to cube and toast them briefly in the oven before using them for the bread pudding. For a no-bake play on this classic dessert, try using your hot dog buns and a vibrant summer pudding. All right, so they make a good point here. The bread needs to be pretty dry before you try to make bread pudding, because otherwise the custard, which is, again, basically, I use the same custard that I use for creme brulee for this as well. Same custard. If you have bread that's not a little bit dry, then you tend to get kind of a soggy result, right? It soaks in. And it really soaks in. It never really bakes out. There's there's no custard in between the pieces of bread. Actually, if you want to make the best bread pudding ever, seriously, I worked at this place in Aspen, and it was a restaurant and catering company in between gigs with Nobu up there, and the bread pudding we made for catered events was awesome. We took a cast iron Dutch oven. It was 10-inch, 12 inches across. I think it was 8 inches deep. And we took brioche bread and cut it into like 1.5-inch cubes, toasted that, and then stacked. We wiped down the inside with oil, layered one layer, tightly packed, and then sprinkled in, what was it? Oh, we put a little bit of straight vanilla bean in there and black currants. And then we moistened that layer with the custard. And then we stacked and keep doing that all the way to the top. So you did every layer was you didn't just pour the custard in over the top. Every layer was neatly, kind of tightly packed in there. So you could squeeze all these little cubes. Still, it was really tight, really packed in there. And then you, again, the dried currants in there on each layer. And then at the very end, we put a little bit of excess custard on the top, so that it kind of had whatever was left. You had about 1/4 of an inch just resting on the top of the entire bread pudding. And then we put the lid on and baked it in the oven that way. And we'd take like 12 of these to a party for 300 people. Each one served probably 20 people. And, as soon as it gets half empty, you have to replace it. But I'm telling you, that's my secret right there. It's to use the custard that you would use for creme brulee. And anything else that we'd use that standard custard for, whether it's bread pudding, whether it's for French toast, it's the same custard. I can't lie. And actually, it's from a cookbook from Colorado. If I can find that exact recipe, I'll post it. It's my favorite one. I haven't memorized, but it's yeah. Anyway, all right, breadsticks. Oh, I've done this before. Spaghetti night or not, no one is going to complain if you whip up a batch of homemade garlic bread topped with Parmesan and oregano. I agree. As a meatball binder, yeah, you need some sort of bread in there when you make meatballs. But the trick here is to soak them in milk, right? You can use it for meatloaf too. All right, I'm going to post. Oh, I did post that one. If you go to Spoony Radio on Facebook, you can look up that article. It's actually pretty interesting. If you have your own trick, maybe some unique use for leftover hot dog buns, let us know. I'm looking forward to your posts. Let's see. Back to the question of what is your favorite store-bought brand of ice cream? Lisa Della Barba says, Market Basket Chocolate Chip. That sounds pretty good. I don't know who makes that, but sounds really yummy. Pat Gamir has an idea for how to use leftover hot dog buns. Leftover bread and rolls, breadcrumbs. Yeah, that's number one. Andy Imhoff says mini garlic breads made with hot dog buns are awesome. Yes, they are, because they toast so well. And if you put enough of that garlic butter on there, that butter and oh man, it soaks in and you get just the right. There's something about a toasted hot dog bun, right? That, especially when it has butter on it, it's kind of when it has that crunchy exterior and then it kind of sticks between your teeth, from the butter and the toasted outside. It's kind of like when and look, all you chefs out there and home cooks as well. When you saute something and you put garlic in there, and the garlic when you're done and you've got these little brown bits of garlic in the pan, and they're sticky, and when you chew them, they kind of your teeth almost stick together. It's my favorite. It's that same texture. I don't know what that's called, but it's fantastic. Yeah, and I don't know. There's only a few things that do that. Garlic, when you brown it just right. A toasted hot dog bun. Actually, Texas toast with enough butter on it toasted does the same thing. I suppose regular toast bread does as well, like sliced white bread. I don't know. I'm not being the biggest fan of plain old white bread. It was interesting. When I was in Germany, they call it Luftbrot, literally air bread. Because everybody's probably had some sort of German bread at some point, or whole grain, dense, big. You can see the kernels in there, basically, or the whole grains. But in Germany, it's even more so. And so their theory is that you can take the whole loaf of bread, and there's so much air in it, you can squish it down into one piece. And the other name they use for it is Toastbrot, only for toast, bread for toast. Other than that, they don't eat white bread. Matter of fact, I think I was laughed at when I asked my family, my host family in Germany, to where I could find regular white bread, like in the plastic package, because they had bread delivered to their door every morning, fresh, hot from the bakery, and I wanted white bread. I'm really not surprised they laughed at me. All right, let's go back to some more food news. Yeah, I found an article about 8 surprising plants that you can eat if you're ever trapped in the wilderness and are that hungry. I don't expect that would happen to me. I've told this before. I've never really ever been lost. Now, I've been misplaced, and I have come out of the woods in a place where it was unexpected in the past. I was like 6 years old. Middle of summer, I walked off. I think my mom handed me a box of 50 22 cartridges and a single-shot rifle, and off I went. And, my grandfather owned a tremendous amount of land, and I came out, I don't know. I did get a little panicked because it was starting to get dark. I was gone for at least 10 hours, 8 hours. And I came out, luckily, in someone's field. It was a neighbor's house that I knew, like 3.5 miles from our home. I'd probably gone 7 miles the back route there. And as soon as I saw their field, I knew where I was, and I went back on the road, and I walked the 3.5 miles via the road home. But I've never really been lost. I am almost always in the vicinity of that which I seek, and now with GPS, other than being the king of U-turns, I don't really get lost. But if you should get lost in the wilderness, 8 surprising wild plants you can eat. I found this kind of interesting. The first one is cattails. And anybody who's grown up in the country, especially, I don't know if they grow down here in the swamps, but in New York, they're all over the place. And pretty much everywhere up north I've ever been. But cattails, I didn't know you could eat those. They basically, they have a fairly thick stalk, and at the top they have a very thick, I don't know how to describe it. It looks like the whole thing looks like a giant sparkler. That's what it looks like. Except the sparkler only covers the top 10% of the stick. Right, the actual sparkly part when you light it, that part, that's only at the top. That's really thick, and then they get really fuzzy when they start to go to seed and it dries out. It gets this weird fuzz on it, and of course, that's the seed that flies off, just like with dandelions, so on and so forth. But I didn't know that, and apparently the brown tops of them, which grow in swamps and marsh areas, they resemble. Oh, here you go. They resemble a cigar or a vegan hot dog. A vegan hot dog, okay. The entire plant is edible. But make sure you wash off all the mud first. Also, the fibrous stem, leaves, and roots are more palatable when cooked. I had no idea. Now, the next 2 I did know. One is clovers, and I've actually used those in salads before. I did a wild green salad, and you can use all of that, especially red and purple clover tastes the best. Trust me. But you can eat all of it. I think you can eat the flower, the stems. I don't know about the root. I've never had that, but you can eat the flowers and stems and the leaves. And the flowers actually are pretty tasty. So, no, I'm not joking. Most edible flowers suck, by the way. And little orchids, the Thai purple orchids they put on your plate as a garnish, they're edible, but they're really inedible. They taste so terrible and chemical. They have this chemical aftertaste. Please don't eat them off your plate. It's there as a garnish. Okay. They don't taste good. All right, number 3 is dandelions. Now, dandelions I did know you could eat. I've put those in salads before as well, and I particularly like the greens. Dandelions, you can eat the stem, you can eat the flower, the leaves, the roots. The roots tend to be a little bitter. Don't ask me how I know. I think I was a child when I ate them. Somebody bet me and my family saying, "Oh, look, try it. I promise, they're edible." Yeah, they are actually. Just make sure you don't eat the tops once they've gone to seed. That little flowery, the little white stuff that blows away. It's kind of like eating the middle of the choke out of an artichoke, right? Not good. Not only does it not taste good, you can't breathe afterwards. All right, redwood sorrel. So sorrel, sorrel is actually edible. It's kind of a clover leaf. Well, it is a clover leaf shaped. It's a clover leaf. And in particular, this one is redwood sorrel. The thing is that with the wild sorrels like this, or sorrel, they have a toxin in them called oxalic. I think it's oxalic or oxalic acid, and you shouldn't really eat a lot of that. Just saying, make you a little sick. Prickly pear cactus. Prickly pear cactus in Arizona. If you don't know what that is, they're the flat cacti that have prickly pear cactus have a red fruit that grows on them. And in Arizona, they actually make jelly and candy out of it. This candy is kind of like they're little squares that are rolled in sugar, and it's kind of like I don't know what is it, like gummy. It's like a gummy. It's a soft version of like a gummy candy. It's really awesome. And actually, prickly pear makes one of the best jellies I've ever had. If you're stuck in the desert and you really need something to eat, you can eat those. The problem is they're always covered with all sorts of thorns. So if you do want to eat them, go to your local grocery store. And actually, I believe even Kroger has them here in Texas. Now, the pear, the entire part of the that fruit is completely edible. It doesn't matter if it's red, orange, or purple. It's all edible. Just be sure that you, again, remove the little the prickers before you eat them. All right, so pickerel weed. I don't know what this is, but it looks very interesting. Pickerel weed, it's found in wetlands, ponds, lakes, and streams from North America to South America. It has glossy green leaves, which you can eat raw if they're young. If the leaves are older or thick, boil them first if possible. The seeds are edible too. You can shake them in your hands and eat them raw or roast them. Interesting. I'm going to have to look and see where this grows exactly. It has like this bluish purple flower that grows right out of the center of it, but I don't recall ever seeing that. Sunflowers, of course, we know that's edible. And there are other members of the same family, actually, like arrowleaf balsam root, or balsam root is what they call it. The seeds are edible from that as well. The coolest thing I think I've ever seen, and I can never find this image again, and I've always wanted to learn how they did this. A friend of mine was in China and sent a photo, or posted a photo on Instagram, of the entire sunflower served on a platter, and the seeds were still intact in the middle of the sunflower. What they had done is they had, I think they poured a brine over the seeds, the mature seeds, and then they baked the whole thing in the oven, and then they pulled it back out and they served the whole thing on a platter, and you pulled the seeds out and ate them. It was the coolest presentation I've ever seen, probably of any whole plant that I've seen served, or any plant product, actually. If you've seen that photo, let me know. And if you find it, please post it up on Spoony Radio on the Facebook page, or you can send it to Chef Patrick at Spoony.com. You can, if you have my number, you can text me, send me the photo. But it's really, really cool, and I've never seen it before. It's really elegant. I've never seen it after either, apparently. And I thought I'd saved it. So if you come across that, it's very cool. All right, the next one is broadleaf plantain. Ta-da! It's found throughout the world. I've seen this before, but I didn't know it was edible. It's found throughout the world, but you may even have a broadleaf plantain in your backyard. It's as common as dandelions and equally as nutritious and hardy. The leaves are best when they're small and young, but you can eat the tougher, older leaves too. They'll just taste more bitter. The asparagus-looking offshoots are edible if you have the patience to shake out and eat the tiny seeds they contain. I'm not that patient. I'm really not. You know, this all sounds like a lot of work. I think I'll just go to the grocery store and buy a bag of mixed greens. I think that's a better bet. But if you really feel notifications here, let's see. Okay. I was told to fix my hair earlier. Thank you. And now I was told it looks better. Thank you again. Oh, you know what? Actually, I want to talk about, I'm working on a project in LA, right? I'm working with my buddy Jeffrey Klein. And one of the people that's involved in that, there are two people actually I want to give a shout out to. Well, three. One is Chef Mako. Mako Tanaka is probably one of the best chefs you've never heard of. Everybody knows Spago, Wolfgang Puck, his legacy, and all his wonderful restaurants. Well, Mako Tanaka was actually a line cook in Spago, and met a young lady there who was the pastry chef. Her name was Nancy Silverton, and together they helped make that restaurant into what it is. Now, Wolfgang Puck was the king, and still is the king, of Asian fusion, especially when it came to classic French techniques and Asian flavors, Asian ingredients from a flavor standpoint, flavor profile standpoint. Well, Mako, he earned his wings there. He became very, very, very skilled at his trade. He was kind of growing up in the ranks of young Japanese chefs in the United States. When Spago opened, he actually went off to run the kitchen for Wolfgang Puck at Chinois on Main. There was the original Chinois, and then Chinois on Main, which was another Asian-influenced, restaurant that just amazing dishes. And it's still there, actually. If you get out to LA and you want to dine at one of the great restaurants that's been there, forever, 20 years. But I was recently kind of not reunited, but my business partner Jeffrey Klein reintroduced me to Chef Mako, and we might be doing some really cool stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to have him call into the show either tomorrow or next week, and I want to discuss what we're going to do. It's going to be some really cool live cooking stuff, some recorded and edited stuff, and what we really want to get Nancy Silverton on. Now, Nancy, oh, by the way, Chef Mako went on to do his own thing. He had several restaurants, and he's well known in that circle in Southern California. But outside of there, it's unfortunate that he's not better known. Nancy Silverton, on the other hand, was the subject of one of the episodes of Chef's Table, which if you've heard me talk about food television shows, my favorite probably of all of them is Chef's Table. And it's a great series that highlights one chef per episode. It's a 1-hour show approximately. And Nancy Silverton, who was the founder of La Brea Bakery, is one of those. And what I wanted to say is that we're working with a group right now. Joe Bastianich, Lydia Bastianich. Joe Bastianich, if you've ever seen MasterChef Junior, he's the Italian, young American Italian gentleman. He's got a glossy top, so to speak. He's got a really clean-shaven head. He's very svelte. He's always wearing a really nice suit. That would be he. And his mother, Lydia, has been doing food television for years and years and years. I think over 300 hours on PBS in Lydia's kitchen. And Lydia Bastianich is just the best. She's an amazing chef. And if you've never seen her work, you should look her up and just check out her videos. Awesome stuff. Anyway, I want to congratulate Joe and Nancy. They have several restaurants together, and one of the concepts is called Osteria Mozza. So Osteria Mozza, there's Osteria Mozza, there's Mozza Pizza, there's Mozza To Go, the to-go version of the Mozza Pizza, and then on top of that, they have one called Cispacca, right? And Cispacca is kind of an Italian steakhouse, and these all sit on one corner in LA. But the Michelin Guide, I talked about the top 50 restaurants. I've talked about the Michelin stars that are awarded. The Michelin Guide has kind of skipped over LA for a long time, but they finally went back and they went to Los Angeles. And I don't know why they skipped over Los Angeles. It's some I don't know if it's a political statement or what, but I have to say congratulations to Nancy and to Joe. They got a Michelin star at for the first time at Osteria Mozza. Right, so congratulations there. If you are in the LA area and you get a chance to go and dine there, please do. It's awesome. I'll put a congratulations up here in a few minutes on the website. Fantastic looking food. I have actually never been fortunate enough to dine at that restaurant. I've eaten at Mozza Pizza, but not at the full blown Mozza Osteria. Anyway, I'll put it online so you can figure out how to spell it, so you can look at all the beautiful pictures of their food. And as we go forward, I'll tell you more about the project that we're working on, and hopefully we can make a difference. Man, what great people, real talent, and I'm excited to be affiliated with them. Anyway, we're going to go to a short break now. Chef Mark Conway should be calling in. I'll check in, just make sure. I'll confirm. I'll send him the number, and we'll see you. Yeah, we'll see you back on the other side. Chef Patrick Mosher, the Food Biz Pro. Don't go away. Stay tuned. We'll be back in 4 minutes. Continue to listen or starve.
This is the only 24-hour take-anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Trump signs a humanitarian aid package to bolster migrant care, as Washington correspondent Mike Gracia tells us.
In an Oval Office ceremony, President Trump signed the $4.6 billion measure designed to provide funding for government agencies dealing with the surge of Central American immigrants at the U.S.-Mexico border.
It's $4.6 billion. It was bipartisan. It was done in a bipartisan manner.
Trump also announced the nationwide illegal immigration sweep will go forward after the 4th of July. Trump delayed the raids about a week ago. Mike Gracia, Washington.
Meanwhile, the Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz says there's no excuse for the crisis at the border.
We are seeing an absolute humanitarian crisis on the border. This is unconscionable, what is happening.
Cruz speaking to KGBT-TV, he says immigrants making the arduous journey often put themselves and their families in danger. The Russian military says that a fire on one of its deep-sea submersibles has killed 14 sailors. The defense ministry says that blaze erupted Monday while the vessel was performing tests in Russia's territorial waters. Also at townhall.com, President Trump's re-election campaign says it's raised $105 million during the second quarter of fundraising.
The Trump campaign's massive fundraising total outpaces any of the 2020 Democrat contenders. Plus, the campaign says it has a staggering $100 million in cash on hand. Trump campaign manager Brad Parscale says the amount of money is a testament to the overwhelming support for the president. And he says no Democrat candidate can match this level of enthusiasm or President Trump's outstanding record of results. Greg Clugston, the White House.
On Wall Street, stocks are mixed. The Dow had 3 points. The Nasdaq is down 13. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can help you have more energy, and polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony. Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. Eric, we've been seeing Mojo guys over there and over here at Spoony talk about Atrantil for bloating. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
You're exactly right. The polyphenols are those molecules that we find in the Mediterranean diet. It makes vegetables and fruits very colorful. What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can actually stop inflammation. They can help you have more energy. They can help you with anti-aging. And polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Tell me how everybody should be taking Atrantil.
If you want to dose Atrantil, it's 2 capsules 3 times a day, basically with your meals. But if you aren't bloated and you just want that polyphenol intake every day, 2 to 3 capsules a day will work for you.
Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
All right, I'm glad I ran out of the room there last minute. I had to make sure the phones were unmuted because we have Chef Mark Conway on the phone. Mark, brother, how you doing, man? Mark,
good, man. How are you?
Oh, living the dream. You know how it goes. Some days I think we need a better dream, though, dude.
That's why there's always another day to have one.
Oh man, hey, everything's good. You know, Spoony Radio is growing, and dude, you got some accolades going on. So, man, spill the beans. Not just the new show. I mean, go ahead and let's hear the big news. What happened? You got some sort of recognition that I was unaware of till today.
Yeah. It was pretty exciting. After the show airs on Spoony here on iHeart, it goes to the podcast network so more people can continue to follow what we're doing and the work we're doing for Family Meal. And we were just recognized as a show to watch on Radio Public for June.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. I know, Andy's producing your show. Andy Emhoff, by the way, is the host of Pardon My Fork, along with several other shows that he produces and also, of course, the star of. But, yeah, you guys have done a great job, Mark. I'm telling you, I love the content. Great guests. I know, though, I want you to call in just because, look, I just need filler. No, I'm just joking. We haven't talked in a while, but I know you're gonna take Family Meal, which has been 5 days a week now, and I know that's hard to do, especially trying not to burn through every chef or talent that we know. It's going to go down to 1 day a week, and then with rebroadcast. But what's the second show about?
Well, the second show is about something that I'm finding rapidly as we're building this is people know it, but they know it by different things. And what this show is going to be is Food Sport Magazine.
And food sport. So people think food sport. What does that mean? I think they instantly think of probably something on television, but as you and I both know, with the WFC, the World Food Championship, and Culinary Fight Club, and all the other stuff that's out there, it's more than that. It's become a huge. It's not just barbecue competitions and steak cook-offs. It's become this huge, very dynamic force in the culinary world. And tell us, what are you going to be covering on a weekly basis? Because there's so much out there.
There really is, and I think that's what people don't realize. Like, you see so many people when they think of food competitions and food sport, they think of what they see on Food Network with Chopped or things like that. But their food sport has been going on for decades. I mean, we're finding out and stockpiling information now about competitions that are in their 20th year in Indiana based on grandma's recipe for cornbread. Mm-hmm. And it goes all the way to the U.S. pizza team that competes in the Worlds in Italy every year for the best pizza team in the country and in the world. So we're going to be diving into all these competitions.
And then, I know WFC is kind of one of the big, one of the really big, soon to be worldwide, because I think Mike is taking that international this year and next. And yeah, as a matter of fact, you went down to Puerto Rico to was it the Caribbean food competition down there?
I did. We went to the Caribbean Food Championships down there, covered a lot of what was happening there, and then that feeds into directly the World Food Championships that'll be in Dallas this year.
I find interesting is that the Culinary Olympics every other year is such an unknown event, but it's by far the largest food-oriented event in the world. I know it's funny because even you and I haven't really spoken about that before. It's a several week long competition, and it really is like the Culinary Olympics. Each country sends their team. I believe that the U.S. team, last year they did, or the last time they did win a gold. But it's amazing what these guys do in a week or 10 days. The food they put out, and It's a little different, though, right? It's not really. Here's the thing. Food sport's confusing, right? Because there's not a single there's not a single platform. Everything, each competition is unique, which is what makes it cool. But I think that's what makes it hard for people to think of as a single realm of the the food world. But they're all tied together in that it's competition. Whether it's a barbecue that takes 24 hours, whether it's something like Final Table event that they had down in New Orleans for WFC, that's 3 days and 2 days and 3 events. Or whether it's a week-long event with the WFC or a 1-hour event with a CFC, which I can tell you firsthand, Culinary Fight Club. Guys, you want to get out there and put your neck on the chopping block? Go ahead. It's stressful, but it was fun. But all those are the same thing. It's all food sport, and there's so many different style of events that there's something for everybody. That's what makes it cool.
Absolutely. I mean, in every genre of food, from world-class chefs competing in things like the ACF competitions that go on every year, all the way down to local communities that have been putting on the best pie competitions for the last 50 years. There's something for everyone if you ever wanted to compete. But not only that, there is something for everyone to enjoy in going and engaging in an event around food.
There's now you think about that. You have all the local church women's church guild will have their annual pie bake off or things like that. I mean, where does one find a list? You know what? Maybe this is what we need to do. We need to aggregate a list of all these different events around each city, county, state, all around the country, and they should be in one place. Well, that's something we need to work on because. One of the issues is that there's so many events that I want to attend, but it takes me so long to find them. By the time I find them, a lot of times they're over. Poor Trey, he sends me stuff the night.
And that's one of the.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, that's one of the things that we're going to work on heavily with Food Sport Magazine is the show's going to be tied in with an online magazine that's going to do just that. It's going to start gathering these lists and these calendars and all these write-ups on the people that are competing and putting on the competition. And that's who you're going to hear on the show is people from every gambit of the competition, from the visionaries who determine what the competitions are to the people that compete, the judges, the businesses that are involved. We really want to get a full glimpse of what makes up food sport.
Yeah, and there's so much. I mean, I was just talking earlier about the SCA, Joe Wilson and his what do you call it? Slightly eccentric personality, perhaps is the way to put it. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many types of events at every level. I mean, again, like you said, the ACF events or the international culinary events that occur on a world class level, a worldwide level, and then again, the local. There was a Wagyu cook-off that I just missed. I was out of town for it. And Trey from Trey's Chowdown, he actually sent me the note the night before saying, hey, I can get you a free entry if you want to compete. And I was like, damn it, I need to know ahead of time. So I'm really looking forward to this because there's so many events that we here at Spoony Radio I'd love to inform all the listeners. The fact that you're going to do that now takes a lot off my plate, and I'm really looking forward to it. So what's on
Absolutely.
that? Yeah, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, so here's the deal, folks. We're on live radio, and the delay, there's like a half-second delay, right? So when I stop talking, you don't know I stopped talking until you can hear it on the other end. And I think he might have stopped talking. So what happens is I end up talking over Mark, poor Mark. I'm just going to, be quiet now for a second, but I'm going to ask you the question. So are there any events coming up that people should be aware of? And then also, when does the show launch?
Fun things are the events that are coming up. Easy place. There's 2 sources right now, and we're going to pull one together so you have one overwhelming source. But right now, if you go to the worldfoodchampionships.com or culinaryfightclub.com, those are 2 great ways to find events that are happening right now. Additionally, a lot of these events inside people's communities are showing up in the local paper. They're showing up on community Facebook pages. And we're going to start collecting all of these. We're going to start putting the word out for people to send us their events so we can put them on one universal calendar so that you can get out and support these people that are doing tremendous things and have probably been going on for years outside of anybody's knowledge. And so now we're going to get that word out. And with going to the new format, on Wednesdays, Family Meal will come out as a brand new show. And on Saturday morning, or on Saturdays, Food Sport Nation will come out as a new show. And then, of course, they'll replay through the week. So you always have an opportunity to listen here on Spoony Radio. But then that way you're going to get two different things during that time slot. You're going to get the stories from Family Meal for some crazy names that I've already interviewed. And then you're also going to get those competitors and those people that are so vital to food sport all in the same week in the same time slot.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Again, coverage of the food sport's great. But again, being able to attend live, because everybody's going to be aware of that, is awesome. We should figure out a way that we can put all these links together in, if you aggregate stuff, you do it on your Facebook page or whatever. I think you're still you're an admin on the Spoony radio page as well. So, we should find a way to post those and maybe put up a weekly schedule. We can pin that to the top or something. And again, that'll make it easy for me as well. I'm not trying to just make it easy for me, but I'm trying to make it easy for me as well, because I forget to cover all these events. There's just so many, and I forget to announce them. So I have to ask you a question, and don't tell me the actual answer, right? But do you know who won the final table event down at in New Orleans?
I have a reasonable idea.
I do as well, but I don't know officially because I wasn't present, and B, the information was not offered to me, and C, I think there's a stack of like 60 pieces of paper and riders and disclaimers you need to sign, which I'm not that I'm not willing to do that, but I'm excited. I can't wait. It's next month. I think is it the end of the month? 24th, 26th, something like that on CNBC. They're going to disclose the winner when they air the final table event on television.
I believe so, and it's going to be a big deal. This is the first time that WFC has had this kind of a national platform like CNBC on television to really show what they're doing. And when the drama of the new format for Final Table, when you finally get to see how that came together, you're going to see what an evolution food sport has been. And if you've been around World Foods at all, it's unbelievable how much they've grown from year one to where they are right now.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, what's year 9, I think, for Mike? Something like that.
This should be year 9, yeah.
Okay.
Dallas.
So when they start, yeah. Oh, by the way, the World Food Championships actual championship, not a lead-in event. This is not the final table event. This is where the 10 category winners are selected. Is right here coming up in October, mid-October, right around the 18th. Oh, I got another guest. Maybe, perhaps, yeah. Come on in. We got plenty of chairs. So, Mark, you're going to stay on with me, okay, for a second? I actually...
Sure.
All right. So I wasn't sure if I was going to have a guest live in studio today. So, Mark, you're always gracious. Can I tell you, folks, if you don't know what a nice man Mark is, I do a 2-hour show 5 days a week, and he knows how hard it is just doing 1 hour. And he's like, anytime you need something, call me. And we hadn't caught up in a while, and so I called you and said, hey, man, let's catch up today. Or I think I texted you, want to call in? And you're like, absolutely. So I really wanted to announce the show, and we're going to start that. Is it going to start later this week, or are we going to push off till next week?
No, we're going to go ahead and start the new family meal this Wednesday.
Okay.
And then we'll start the new food sport on Saturday.
Sounds good. Now, I don't know if this guest is actually going to come in. It's 12. I got another half an hour segment at the end of this, but here we go. Come on in. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good to meet you. Good. Thanks, Angela. Come have a seat if you like.
All right. This one here.
Yes. This is not at all intimidating, folks. Not at all.
Totally.
All right. Yeah. So for those of you watching on Facebook, this is Angela. Zatopek?
Right.
All right. Zatopek?
Yes, you said it right.
Yeah. All right. So can make sure she's unmuted over there. We're good to go. All right. Mark, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. Are you live?
Yes.
Hey, there we go. We have voiceage. There we go. So yes, I got a text last week from Ron. Actually, we were on our weekly programming director's call, and they said that you might be in studio today. So, what in the world brings you from television to Spoony Radio?
I don't know. No, I met some of the guys here in the studios a few years ago, and I just moved to Dallas from New York City. So I understand this is about food, and it was hard leaving the food culture in New York. But Dallas, we've got some good spots.
So is it still a culture shock being here?
A little bit, but I am originally from Texas, so
Okay.
it's good to be home. But I've been gone for like 10 years.
Yeah, so I'm from New York, but I've been gone from New York for a long time. So
Wow.
where I stayed in Manhattan, if you look to the left of the door, that was actually a Gotham Bar and Grill.
Okay.
So and that was kind of my favorite haunt for a long time. But so what brings you to Texas? Back to Texas, I should say.
Man, there really is no place like Texas. I've had so much fun with my career. I work in media and broadcasting.
Yes.
I've done reporting for the last 8-9 years and just have an awesome big family and wanted to come back down here and also have some business stuff, launching a jewelry line and working with a team here in Dallas. So
I mean,
a few reasons.
You were Miss Texas USA, weren't you in that patch?
Yes.
And you want Ava Longoria is Ready for Love.
I did.
Wasn't that right? Woo!
Yes. Woo! Yeah.
Didn't get married though?
Didn't get married. He proposed. Wasn't expecting that, but I got to keep the ring, sold it, and started my jewelry line. So hey.
Actually, that's a really good story. So there you go.
And you know who designed the ring? Was Ivanka Trump.
Really?
Before Mr. Trump was president.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big reality TV show watcher.
Have you ever seen The Bachelor?
No, I mean I know the premise of the show. I mean it's
Okay.
pretty much like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty much just like that.
Okay, well that's understandable. So you sold the ring to launch your jewelry line. So I mean it's obviously a very nice ring.
It was nice.
Because you probably built more than one piece of jewelry from that.
Yes.
The proceeds. Okay. And tell us about your jewelry line then.
So it's kind of a fashion faith-based line, if you will. We do different designs around symbols and verses from the Bible, so bringing it to life in a modern way for women today. So our signature design is like the Christian fish within the heart, and it's so fun just to bring that story to life and really just teach people about it through fashion.
And it's called the One Love Collection, is that right?
It's actually called Elevari, which means to elevate. But hey, One Love sounds great too. But no.
Sorry, that's what happens when you don't do your show prep and you're just looking at the website right now.
It's called Elevari, and I was actually on assignment in East Africa in a village at the source of the Nile River, and there was an orphanage that these missionaries built called Elevari, and I said, "What does that mean?" And they said it means to elevate, and I was like, "Can I use that for my jewelry line?" They're like, "We don't care, sure." But it was fascinating. And speaking of food, because that's what you talk about, right? Different food. The food over there was incredible. Have you been to Africa?
I have not. I've not been to the African continent. I've been pretty much everywhere else but there.
The fruit. I was like,
oh, they have so many things you've never heard of or seen.
There was this fruit and it tasted like a Sour Patch Kid, like the candy. But
awesome.
It was fruit. So I was like, this is not okay. Like, this is healthy. All right. So
no, that is okay.
It's called pawpaw.
Pawpaw. What does it look like?
May call your grandpa that, but it's actually a fruit in Africa. Pawpaw.
Pawpaw. There you go. What does it look like? How big is it?
It kind of looked like a lemon on the outside. From memory, there were so many fruits I tried. But fruit is such a big part of the culture over there. So we were staying at this amazing resort off the Nile River, and every morning they would bring these huge platters of fresh fruit. There it is, the pawpaw, Paw.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I kind of had a similar experience when I went to Ecuador. I worked down there quite a lot for years, on and off, and I would stay at this one hotel. It's called the Oro Verde Hotel in Guayaquil, and every morning they had the most delicious fruit. And Mark, you can jump in here at any point, man. Do your homework back there, okay? It's Angela Zatopek, Zatopek. All right. Actually, my buddy Mark is on the phone from Virginia. He hosts a show that comes on right before mine every day called Family Meal.
Oh, okay.
And so we talk about, or he talks about the virtues of family dining together, but also that's what we have in a restaurant. It's called Family Meal, where you dine together before the service starts. So it's a way to spend time with your family that you typically spend more time with than your actual blood relatives, because you're always working in a restaurant, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But anyway, so I was in South America, and they have this thing called tree tomato. It's tomato de arbol, or tamarillo is what it's called. And it looks like this on the outside, but it's orange or yellow. And then they would make a juice from it every morning. So they had watermelon juice, they had guava, and then they had this either the red or the orange tamarillo juice. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
And they have these little white pineapples. They're called mountain pineapples that they're so small they can't really export them. They'd be so expensive. They only eat them in country. But it's a really white fleshed pineapple that's pineapple's pretty sweet as it is, but it's like 5 times sweeter.
Oh my gosh.
So, I know. And it's like, could I just get a whole plate of the pineapple, please? And,
wow.
And it was pretty interesting. But I saw so much stuff I'd never seen before. It's fascinating.
It really is. So interesting.
So your line is it back to your business? Is your line just for women?
Right now it is, but we're expanding. I'm really excited. I'm working with Taya Kyle, who is married to Chris Kyle, the American Sniper. Have you seen that movie?
I have.
So his wife is just incredible. She lives about 30 minutes outside of Dallas, and we are coming up with some baller men's pieces.
Cool.
Yes, I just said baller.
How about it? It'd be cool. So pocket crosses.
That would be cool.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
So we're she's super creative, and we are going to also offer this to military, give back a percentage of the proceeds to
that's awesome.
Yeah, military families, and a lot of these wives and daughters, just helping them. She's got a foundation she started, the Chris Kyle Frog Foundation.
Very
so we're working together to come up with some really cool different designs that will be for both women and men. We're going to call the men collection the Alpha and the women the Omega.
There you go.
Alpha, Omega, Alpha. Yeah.
Very cool.
Very excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mark, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Before we are you going to stay through this segment, or do you have a little more time after? We have about 2 minutes left, and before
I've
they're
got
running
time.
after. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mark, you have any questions? No offense, but I'll probably dump you at the bottom of the segment. Love you, brother.
Hey, I don't blame you. I would do the same thing to you, so no hard feelings at all.
Actually, you know what, Mark? It's hard enough for me to sit here and talk about food by myself. Now I have one person in front of me, one on the phone, and I'm looking at, producer Mike is back there giving me, well, actually, he's not right now. Usually he's back there, thumbs up or thumbs down. Are you okay? Are you okay? So, hey, again, tell everybody when your show is going to start. It's going to launch tomorrow?
Yeah, the new family meals setup will start tomorrow.
Okay.
And the new and first Food Sport magazine will launch on Saturday.
Okay. And by the way, folks, I need to tell Ron this. As we go forward, and not everyone's doing it at the same time, but our format's going to change a little bit. We're going to drop the break at the bottom of the hour on the 1 hour shows, and that way, unless it's live in studio, because we can't hit pause and get a drink or go to the restroom or something like that. But the shows that the remote hosts do, like Mark and Andy Emhoff and all the other great hosts out there, Cody Stortz in California with. I think he's still doing Reckless. He's going to change that name up pretty soon. But again, we're going to drop that bottom of the hour break. Why? Because it's easier that way, isn't it, Mark? You don't have to build 2 files, and you can talk to someone all the way through. So anyway, you got 1 minute left, man. It's all yours. Take it away.
All right. Well, I really want to say thank you to everybody who's been listening to the show. It's the entire reason we're able to do some of the things we do. I'm excited at some of the guests you haven't even got to hear yet. Some that you will not have expected to hear talking about Family Meal, because they come from the realm of movies and TV, but that'll continue to grow. And Food Sport magazine is going to really kind of change the game for how you keep up with what's going on in competitive food. And we look forward to bring all of that to you. And you can find me on Facebook at Chef Mark Conway, and we'll keep it going.
Hey, awesome stuff. Congratulations to you and Andy as well. Mark's show, again, Family Meal, was just announced by Radio Public as a show to watch for the month of July. So check it out. You can find him on iHeartRadio. You can find him right here on Spoony Radio, Spoony.com. Go just type in Mark Conway, Family Meal. You'll find him. We will be right back with our guest in studio, Angela Zatopek, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Don't go away.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter at Food Biz Pro.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. That's 800-218-6473.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
And we are back for the fourth and final segment. Today's Food Biz Pro Show, Chef Patrick Mosher. It is time for, well, it's dessert. It's the dessert course. So we are here with our special guest in studio, Angela Zatopek, right?
Yeah.
Woohoo! I got it right. And we were talking, well, we've talked about a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
You just recently relocated back to Texas. Above and beyond your star-studded career on television, you're launching your new jewelry line. It's a faith-based jewelry line. Yes. And you'll have to say it again for me because I didn't write it down, and it's incorrect on the information I have. What's it called?
It's Elevari
Elevari
jewelry. So elevate, but an R instead of a T, which means to elevate.
We can do that. Elevari. All right. So, and again, right now you're designing pieces for the women's line is already out.
It is.
And where they find that?
Online. ElevariJewelry.com.
That was pretty easy.
Find me on social media, and I post all the time about it.
Awesome. And we'll go ahead and we'll pin that to the Spoony Radio Facebook page as well. And I'm guessing it's the same thing on all the other social media platforms, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
I'm so terrible at social media. I really am. Maybe I'm just lazy. It's like a time suck for me.
I'll be honest, I have a love-hate relationship with it as well. I work in media, but it's like kind of takes away from you being present. And I don't like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't like, I mean, I understand. I go on social media. I look at other people's stuff and I'm like, wow, that's cool. And I'm like, maybe you should do this or that. I'm the worst at shameless self-promotion though. I'm terrible.
You don't post selfies all the time?
I don't actually. I've only posted, I on Instagram, I have 12 pictures I've put up in like 3.5 years, and I don't have like 700 followers. I don't know. But I haven't done anything.
You know what?
I know
that's cool. Everybody's got their own their own thing.
It's cool, but I'd like to have 700,000 followers instead of 700. I think
there's these apps you can buy fake followers.
Yeah,
and they do these like fake comments. And I know someone that did this because for his career.
And what happened?
The comments, it's so obvious because it's like, love that blue jacket, and he's like in a red shirt. I'm like, these are just robot. I don't know
bot,
these companies, but
it's a software company that has an algorithm based in China somewhere that's just spitting out stuff every time you post.
Yeah.
I actually hired a gentleman. His name's Christopher to do the engagement on Instagram. So I'll make the post, and then he'll basically optimize it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he'll make sure the right hashtags are in there, the right things are, and that the right people are included. Hopefully, it's organic growth, but he's very good at what he does. I've seen some results he's gotten for other people. Some people get like 60, after they get rolling, 60 to 100 additional followers per day that stick because it's real growth. You didn't buy it. There's no paid boost or anything. So we'll see. We'll see. I have faith.
I feel like people, if you really posted about food all the time, like that, people love all that. So you'd probably get a ton of followers.
You want to know how powerful food is? So Gordon Ramsay,
powerful.
I mean, and television as well. But you think about how Food Network. This is a good topic, actually. Let's think about how Food Network has changed society. I don't need that anymore. The number one watched channel in households now is Food Network. It's typically on in the background. More hours than any. It used to be Fox News, and now it's Food Network. It's on more hours per day than any other network.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe that. People are like, I don't want to feel surrounded by drama. Let's just go to food.
Which is why, so I go to the other studio every Friday morning, and Matt Locke is over there, and we do a beer for breakfast Friday. And it's beer for brunch now because his show runs later than it used to. But I go and we try a different beer every week. We talk about food, grilling techniques, just anything but politics.
Yeah.
Not that I don't have an opinion, but people need a break.
Yeah.
They really do. But yeah, you think about all that. Food Network, and I'm not just, this is not about Food Network, right? Because we are not Food Network, but if Food Network would like to buy us, we have a price tag. Call me, I'll tell you what it is. But over 50% of all cooking magazine sales are that one magazine. It's like 52 or 53% of all culinary magazine sales are one single magazine their monthly.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. I think it's something that just brings people together, and honestly, forming new friendships, relationships. It's always, hey, let's go get a meal together too. And so it's just, everyone can relate. Everyone's got to eat. So, it's. That's
the thing is everybody has to eat. Even if you don't cook, like we all have to eat. And so there's that common bond. It's like pretty much the only, we have to breathe, but who talks about the air we breathe other than the toxins or the not, or where we live because it's cleaner or not. But it is really the one common thread, right?
It is.
There's a great, we had a partner that we lost in February, Doc Thompson. And I went to him. I had this idea for this crazy radio station. I don't know what I was thinking. And I asked him to help me launch it. And he wrote all the stuff that's the imaging, the stuff between, the listener might not know. It's all those little sound bites that are between the shows and in the breaks. And one of them that he had this other voiceover guy read, it's, Spoony Radio. We're not solving the world problems, but we're bringing people to the table. And I thought it was brilliant.
Love it.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I'm like, it's really, really what it is. What's what food does. It brings us together. So on that note, though, we were talking a little sushi, right? Because, having worked for Nobu in the past, and you just came from New York City.
Where is the sushi here?
I go to Uchi.
Okay.
Nobu's still good, too. It's been here for, 10 or 12, 13, it's been around a while.
Yeah.
That was
so
like the
what's
fourth or
your
fifth restaurant.
favorite kind of fish?
Wow. My favorite kind of fish. I have several, right? And it depends on where you go because not everybody has what I want all the time. But like actual what they call hon maguro, which is true tuna, like true Japanese tuna.
Wow.
They can only fish it. I think it's only between like the Sea of Japan and Japan and Korea in the Sea of Japan right there. It's different than yellowtail or yellowfin. It's different than big eye. It's not as fatty. It does have some total win on occasion, but man, just big bluefin fatty toro, melt in your mouth.
Yum. I do have a question. So, and maybe other viewers could also get this insight from you. Like, I've eaten at a lot of sushi places, and there's even sometimes airport sushi. How do you know what are the flags if it's like, do not eat this? Like, is there like tuna, if it's really light, is that bad, or it should be darker? Like, let's just take tuna, for example, because I know some people that have had not so good, experiences with the fish, but how do you know if you're just kind of a rookie? And
that's actually, that's a good question. So if tuna that's fresh, that hasn't been treated, right? There's a couple ways. Tuna's harvested, and it's typically processed when it gets to shore. But there are some other ways they can do it. They actually, it's called smoked tuna. What they do is they take carbon monoxide, they cut the fish into blocks, and then they pump carbon monoxide into a bag, and it makes it look really pink. Right. So if you find it's like artificial pink, though, like it's been dyed, and they freeze those blocks, and then when they defrost it, it kind of blooms. The color becomes really bright. If you see that, that's typically carbon monoxide treated smoked tuna.
Okay.
Don't eat it.
Okay.
I mean, I have used
bright
it.
Pink.
Yeah, and it's like it's not a natural color. So if it's kind of opaque, though, like a pale red, but with no browning, it's usually safe. Brown is what you want to look for. If there's any kind of brown around the edges or it looks dry, just don't eat it.
Okay.
Is there?
Noted.
I don't even know.
That is good to know. That's very good information.
You're asking.
There's a lot of sketchy.
There are a
fish
lot
out
of
there.
them. There's a place in Bentonville, Arkansas that's not there anymore, but they had there was a gas station that sold sushi, and it became a restaurant. But it was like the best gas station sushi ever. And the joke was, hi Ron, how you doing? The joke was, it's fun. So here's the thing with live radio, nobody knows what's going to happen on any given day. People just barge in, and
we could have sushi brought in right now. We'll do a little taste test.
Tyson Cole, that was an invitation. Just drag your butt up here from Uchi in Austin or wherever you happen. He's got so many restaurants, it's crazy. He's doing a new one in Florida. I think it's Uchi is going on. I think he's building one down there. He has that. They have a new restaurant that's a combination of Franklin's barbecue, and then his food. And it's like a Japanese smokehouse. I mean, it's so cool.
Wow.
I can't
barbecue.
I can't keep up with those guys. It's crazy. But back to your question, I don't know if there's a way to tell unless you stand back, wait a few hours, and see what happens to the diner before you. I don't really know.
Will they get sick? Okay, let's see.
If you see them making it right there, like if you go into the grocery stores here, they typically have, you've been to H-E-B, like Central Market especially, right? They always have a sushi chef there making. If you go to somewhere that you see them making it and it looks clean and they're wearing gloves and the turnover looks fast, then you're probably okay.
Okay. This is a good sign.
Yeah, and if the expiration date is the day that you're buying it and it looks like it's been on the shelf a couple days, you probably want to avoid it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's probably the best advice I can give you.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I ask this to almost every guest. Is there a single meal, like a single time, it can be family related, it can be memory related, or just the food and the flavors pairing with something. Is there one meal that just stands out in your life that was like, oh, wow, I was waiting for that, or that just changed my life?
So that's a
not to put you on the spot. I can tell you one if you need me to give you a moment to think about it.
No, I mean, I think I could give an answer of a restaurant I was or somewhere, some on a trip. But one thing I recently discovered just cooking at home that I'm kind of mind blown about that anyone can do is an air fryer.
They're awesome.
They
are so awesome.
It is a life-changing investment. I want to encourage everyone to do. It's like $100. And I'm obsessed with like crispy Brussels sprouts or veggies. And also when you cook fish in these, it's like the outside is kind of crispy, but the inside is still very moist. And it's literally like 5 minutes and the cleanup is nothing. And this air fryer has changed my life. So that has made every meal that I love to cook at home. If I eat out because I travel, that's fine. But when I am home, I like to cook. That thing is a game changer.
So can I tell you what? All you restaurateurs out there say crispy, roasted Brussels sprouts.
So good.
I'm calling BS though, because most of you just say they're fried Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, this is the healthy version, ladies.
Well, so I'm telling you what, I don't really talk about the home use kitchen equipment very often, but air fryers are awesome.
They
They're
really
awesome.
are.
Matter of fact, I'm going to contact them and see if they'll send a unit over here. And I'll do every week. I'll do some sort of demo. I need a demo unit.
Oh my gosh.
And
Perfect.
And I think that would be. They're so cool because everybody's like sous vide, sous vide, sous vide, sous vide.
Yeah,
You know what pain in the rear sous vide is, because you got a vacuum pack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Mike. So Mike's the coolest cat, right? He's like, he comes over and wants, everything okay? Everything okay?
He's
Thumbs
like,
up,
"Yep."
thumbs up. Well, sometimes you just get stuck, and so you look.
He's
and,
like, is she boring? Do we have to go?
No, he's just taking a look. That's all. That's all right. I don't blame him. But it's I was talking about this earlier. You sit here and you talk, and it's live. We don't have a dump button. If I drop the wrong word, it goes out over the internet and it lives forever. And so sometimes you get stuck, and the producers will like jump in. I have another producer. He'll be here tomorrow, Jeff, and he's typically on that side of the glass. But Mike's running both shows. He's running back and forth between the studios, and
he's busy.
He is busy. So I'm at the age now where I was just saying earlier. I heard him talking on the other channel to Matt, the host, on the internet radio that's playing in the kitchen. And so, I've already told him I have good hair envy now. I'm over 50, and I'm getting a little bit of a convertible in the back.
Salt and pepper.
I'm getting a little convertible in the back, So
convertible.
Yeah.
My dad had the Island for a while, and I'm the oldest of 4. We're all like, Dad, just give it up. Like the Island is, it's chilling by itself.
It's the island. We're like the island of misfit toys around here. But anyway, so then I heard him talking on the radio. I'm like, damn it, not just good hair. Now I have good voice envy too. He's like. He's just got to, Mike, talk for a minute. Say hello. Say hi to Angela.
That's my dad's name.
Hi, how's it going? I'm Mike.
Yeah.
Good radio.
All right, you can go away now. I need a mute.
Oh, you need it.
No.
You don't want to hear me anymore?
No, I do actually. So, Mike, how long you been with us now?
2 months.
Okay.
2 months, yeah. Just hit 2 months.
Yep.
Wow.
And he kind of is running the show back there now when he can. There are some days when we have both producers there. And Ron used to do everything. He ran all the shows. He does all the programming, the automation. He does the graphics. He does the websites.
He can't even take a vacation.
Yeah.
Without
I know.
needing to do something.
Or maybe a lunch break.
Yeah,
Sounds
something.
like.
No, he can't.
And then you got partner show hosts like me that are like, he's like, you doing a live show today? I'm like, I'll let you know in an hour. He's like, dude, tell me sometime
Right
soon.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm still in Austin. I'll do one tomorrow. He's like, thank you. Like, I can't even make
Gets
up
a
my
little
mind.
stressed out.
Yeah,
doing
well,
it.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. He's kind of the tech guru.
Got
he's
it.
CEO. He's also CEO and president.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, guys.
Very busy guy.
Yeah, he's laundry list
Wearing
of
a
things
lot
to
of
do.
hats.
He is
Wearing a lot of hats.
So, but back to the question.
Yeah.
The one meal. Is there like
a meal that I can think of?
I can tell you mine real quick.
Okay.
Okay. I'd gone to culinary school, and when I graduated, I'd heard about a pairing, this classic pairing. It was Muscadet wine, which it's not a sweet wine. It's a white wine. The grapes grow near the coast, the coast in France in the Loire Valley, and they're only about 10 miles from the coast or less. And the salt in the air actually permeates the grapes, and so and it's basically it's served sur lie. It's not really a strain of the yeast, right? The yeast dies in the wine and served that way, and it's got this salty kind of nose and hint to it. It's a great crisp white wine, and the pairing is with raw shellfish on the half shell. So I was in Paris. It was right after graduation. I had driven there from Cologne. I lived in Cologne. I went to university for a little bit, and then went to my last year of high school there, and borrowed my old host family needed a car taken to Ibiza. So, far be it from us not to take the car. So anyway, went to Paris, and this really kind of, I thought it was going to be a touristy type restaurant, but it wasn't. It was this classic French bistro right on the next to the Tuileries, when you're walking along south down the hill from the Eiffel Tower. So I'm sitting there. I just happened to ask. The lady and her husband owned it. She spoke perfect English. He didn't speak a lick of English. And I said, I have one question. Do you have little neck clams or manila clams on the half shell and muscadet? And she said, oh, but of course. And she brought it out, and I was like, it was perfect. It was exactly what I had dreamt it would be. And I don't know why that one pairing stuck in my head.
Wow.
But it did. It was the first thing I heard in my wine and spirits class about classic pairings. And I finally got to have it, and it was awesome.
That's awesome.
So there are a bunch of other ones that weren't so good, like the time I ate too many potato dumplings and walked the halls.
I'm glad you went first, because you telling that story inspired got my my wheels going, and that reminded me of a dinner. I think that was so magical that I experienced last year. I told my mom, I'm sorry, I'm going this Thanksgiving. I'm trading turkey for pasta, and I'm going to Italy. So I went to Italy Thanksgiving week and it was my first time, and the food was just incredible. Rome, and we ended the trip in Florence, where we went to dinner in this underground restaurant. And I did not know that Florentine steak was correlated with Florence and just the origin of that. But we're sitting in this restaurant, which is underground, and it's kind of this big arched wall. And I saw on the wall, like, writing, like engraved in the stone, and there were it was like Jewish stars. And I was like, what was this place? And it actually was a hiding place during World War II. And then it converted to a wine cellar where they would store wine. And now it's one of the top restaurants in Florence. And I can't remember the name of this place, but it was so magical. And I just felt like I am sitting around. I mean, this is just historic, you know, the things that have happened in this building. And just the food was incredible. The steaks were huge. They made Texas-sized steaks look like nothing. I mean, this steak was so big. And I have a picture of it. I posted on my Instagram when I was there because I was just like, the city is so filled with history and amazing food. But that restaurant, if you're in Florence, highly recommend.
Is it L'Osteria di Giovanni or something like that, maybe?
If you show me the picture,
let's see images. I'd like to say
I could look on my
you know what?
phone.
It's one of those probably. But there you go.
That's it.
Okay.
Trattoria? Yes.
Yeah. So that one is, I don't know, but it is Top Trattoria Restaurants.
Yes.
And it is, I don't know. Well, but I'll post the name though. It's beautiful.
Fantastic.
Jeez. Now, there's
got
the
some
steak.
gelato.
I'd like to.
That's it.
Okay.
Right there.
So for you, those of you that are viewing this right here, and you know, people don't realize, but Italian steakhouses are fantastic.
My gosh.
Now, that's a steak right there. That's a steak, folks.
That's a steak.
That's a steak. Make sure it's there. We go.
Go hungry, leave happy.
So, you know, I'm doing a little work with my business partner and I are working with Nancy Silverton, and do you know La Brea Bakery? Used to
in
be
LA?
In LA.
Yeah.
So Nancy was the founder there, one of the partners, and the head baker. And so she's partners with Lydia and Joe Bastianich. You know, Joe from, probably you've seen him on MasterChef Junior, MasterChef. And they're, you know, that whole team was responsible for bringing Italy to the United States. But they have a restaurant called Cispacca.
Okay.
You've probably heard of like Mozza or Mozza Pizza. So they have Osteria Mozza. Mozza Pizza. They have, oh my gosh, I think I have the pictures up here. It's
and
Cispacca.
where is that?
It's in LA actually.
Okay.
And they have, oh my God, they have these steaks. It's like a 70-something ounce steak that they serve. I mean, they do.
That's
oh my gosh.
crazy.
Now I'm going to show this picture. This is my favorite. This right here. This is actually a bone marrow like pie. It's a stew inside.
Bone marrow pie?
Yeah. You ever had bone marrow?
No, I'm sorry. I might draw the line there. Bone marrow pie.
Well, so you'd eat beef cheek or tongue, but you can't eat bone marrow. So do you know what? So here's that's the bone marrow pie right there. All right. And so bone marrow is actually it's basically just fat.
Okay.
And so when you cook it, oh my gosh,
then it's probably good.
It's a daunting process because you have to bleach the bones and and as a cook in the kitchen, the chef is like, whiter, scrub it. And so I mean, you just have to get everything off the bone. You take the marrow out and you kind of bleach it and you put the marrow back in, and then you bake it. And when you bake it, it turns into like just gelatin flavored. It's just beef flavored gelatin, and you spread it on toast. And that's how they typically serve it. And what they do with this is they make this kind of beef pot pie with the bone marrow bone in the middle, and they just bake the whole thing. So you spread that on toast, and then you eat the pot pie, you know, just the rest of the stuff as you would any other. I think there's one actually that shows it where they cut it open, but I think it's that one.
And how long does it take to make one of these things?
A long time. So that's what it looks like inside.
Wow.
And so They just got a Michelin star. I was just talking about that earlier. Nancy Silverton, they got one for Osteria Mozza. But if you want great Italian food in America, because I don't get to go to Italy, unfortunately, LA, they have some great restaurants there. And Cispacca, Osteria Mozza, Mozza Pizza, and what's the Mozza to go, which is just, it's a little window outside of Mozza Pizza where you can get pizza to go.
Yeah.
But they're what was the craziest thing you ever saw in Italy, food wise?
Oh my god!
You're just like, I can't do that. Or you're like, that was so creative.
I felt like I played it maybe a little safe, just because I do eat kind of strict. I'm not like, but the ice cream, the gelato over there. I know, yeah, the gelato. I couldn't say no. I have a sweet tooth, so
I love gelato.
That was just fantastic. And I went in it was cold, but I was like, I'm in Italy. I'm going to get gelato, even though I'm like freezing right now. I might be crazy, but awesome. We tried to go off the beaten path. Like, we didn't want to go to the touristy spots. So I really wanted authentic. I feel like chicory was something that was in a lot of restaurants.
So is chicory as in like frisee lettuce type chicory?
Yeah, it was at a lot of the restaurants.
Yeah, so Italians like bitter greens, chicory, radicchio, and a lot of times they char or grill them. And
it was really good.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I've never really had this.
Like they eat a lot of endive as well, like the white endive or even green endive. And they charm or they braise it. Like I've had orange braised endive, where they just cut the endive, head of endive in half, and they braise it with it'll have white wine and orange juice and zest, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They do it right over there. If you haven't been to Italy, I feel like that just should be a must.
All right. Well, one more trip to I've been to Italy. It's been a long time though. It's time to go. I would think I was in high school. I think I was in high school. But yeah, the Italian steakhouses. People don't think about that, but the food the beef is so different. Did you find it different texture wise, or?
I just felt like there was a lot of oils in a lot of the dishes. They just use oil.
They do. They use a lot of olive oil.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
like an obscene amount in some places. I was like, can I have some meat with this oil? Thank you.
So
it is like crazy.
I was reading this article about pasta sauce, and it says if your pasta sauce doesn't turn out like your Nona's, this is why. And on average, when they make a spaghetti sauce, there's 1 ounce of olive oil per serving. So for if you make and that's like a quarter cup, right, or a half cup. So if you're making something that's a gallon of sauce, okay, so that's 32 ounces of that's a quart of oil in there. That's what they're. I'm like,
that's a lot of That's a lot of calories.
But there is something in olive oil. Actually, there's a great product called Riduzone that is one of our sponsors. And is it OEC? I forgot what it's. I forgot the name of the. Yeah,
Mike's don't put me on the spot.
Mike's like, dude,
don't do that.
Hey, man, you got to fill sometime. No, just but anyway, it's a component of that's found in a natural substance in olive oil, but you'd have to drink so much of it to actually make your body detox and not crave sweets so much.
It's kind of like creatine in meat, right? You have to eat so much meat in order to get the creatine out of it.
You know, but it's more bioavailable. So that's something, we talk about supplements and how people eat. It's so complex because you could take as much calcium as you want, but if you don't have magnesium or zinc in your body, then you don't absorb any, right? So there's all these other things that play into that.
Right.
That if you have a varied diet, then and it's a seasonal whole foods for the most part, that really makes a big difference because you're getting the other nutrients in that, like meat, for instance, creatine that you need to carry water to the cells, the muscle tissue. Not to get all geeky on people now, but the other substances you need are already in the meat, right? It's already in that protein. So it's complicated, man. Thursdays. Look, you want to know more about that? Just call Dr. Brown. Kenneth Brown, he does the show, The Gut Check Project, here on Thursdays from 9 to 11 Central. And then I don't have to go into it because, it's an awesome, he's such, it's my favorite show.
Yeah. I mean, what you fuel your body with makes all the difference, I think, in mental clarity, how you're just productivity, and I'm a huge advocate for learning about things and being mindful of what you put in your body, but also enjoying too.
Well,
but still, you feel better.
You have to indulge.
Yep.
Got it.
You have to indulge.
You have to. Life is too short.
Well, I end the show almost every day by, be kind to yourself. Remember, you are what you eat. And it's true. I mean, what you eat physically becomes part of your body. Your cells regenerate from the inside out. And, your hair follicle today was something you ate like 36 or 38 days ago, something like that. I'm making the number up, so don't call me out on it. But yeah, literally, I mean, this was whatever you ate so many days ago, and you are what you eat. So I guess I need to start. I'm glad I had an apple today.
Apple a day.
That's good.
Yes. All right. So we have 1 minute left. So let's tell everybody where you find you, Angela. Where do we find you on social media?
Yeah.
Where do we find you? What's the website again?
So my personal is Angela Zatopek is my last name, Zatopek, and not that hard. And my jewelry is elivariJewelry.com. So we're doing a big rollout in the next few months. So would love for you guys to check it out.
That's awesome. Awesome. And I'll put those links up on social media. Angela, thank you for being our guest in studio.
Thanks for having me.
It was funny because I texted Ron before, like, is Angela coming in? And he goes, who? I said, Angela, you told me last week I might have a guest. I thought that's what you said her name was. So anyway, that's it. We've pretty much wrapped up another 2 hours. I'd like to say actually, I'm glad I can't say that you've wasted another 2 hours listening to me. Hopefully you learned something. It was fun. Real quick, ketchup or mustard on a hot dog?
Mustard. Honey mustard.
All right. Well, honey, okay. I'm not sure if that's it. I'll have to look that up. It does. Anyway, hey, folks, Chef Patrick Mosher signing off. Angela, thanks for being our guest. We'll be back tomorrow. Come back and burn another 2 hours. Remember, you are what you eat. Take care. Cook something new tonight. Cook for yourselves. Don't dine out.
This is the only 24-hour Take Anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. South Korea has heralded last weekend's meeting between the president and North Korea's Kim Jong-un, saying it forges new ground.
South Korea's President Moon Jae-in has called the recent U.S.-North Korean meeting.
Can you put that back up without streaming? Just the picture.